I want to start with what the people want to hear. What cryptocurrency am I buying today to make $1 million tomorrow?
Okay, so first, bro, thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's been an honor kind of seeing you scale. I remember seeing you had 9,000 followers, 1,000 subs, and nothing on Twitter. Is like seeing you become one of the leading people in Web3 when it comes to education and teaching people, and mad respect to you, but I've seen you the whole way, and I look forward to kind of what you're going to do. So being here is an honor. And then to answer your question, right now, what I want to invest in is projects that have established companies, right, behind them that have known founders and that have the potential to disrupt multiple industries because they're already kind of behemoths, whether through cash flow or their positioning in the market. For example, finance, right? I would be a big investor in BNB coin, not at these prices right now, but to be observant of it. And I want to be betting not only on projects, but on people, right? Because you want to be rallying behind the best of the best. And that was kind of my investment strategy throughout 2020, when I put my entire net worth into crypto, was focusing on the people that were behind the thing. Not do I like the token? Do I like the community? No. Is the founder somebody that I can rely on to make my support of him more valuable, right? And a person that can actually disrupt the industry. So I voted on CZ through PancakeSwap and through BNB, and it paid off.
Do you think these tokens are going to be used? Like people are buying these tokens to actually use these types of tokens, like FTX?
It's more so betting on the fact that that token will be utilized massively in an ecosystem. So for example, in the Binance Smart Chain, a lot of stuff happens with BNB, just like on Ethereum, we use ETH. I prefer in some way, shape, or form the Binance Smart Chain because of how efficient and quick it is. Mm-hmm. I haven't been, transacting a whole lot right now recently with the Ethereum blockchain after the merge, just because I haven't been DeFi lately. I've been traveling, so I haven't seen if there have been any meaningful updates. There probably have been, so I'll do my due diligence and come back to you on that one. But I like the Binance Smart Chain and the projects that are being built on there. So once again, nothing is truly decentralized, right? So when we talk about living in a decentralized metaverse, right, you're on centralized servers. You're most likely utilizing a computer that has a security system that is centralized, or a device that is centralized, or if you're in certain countries, your internet is centralized. Even your ability to not access certain websites. You see OpenSea banning countries able to access their website because of where they live. That shows you that even the decentralized Web3, exactly. So this idea of a specific token right now, I don't really know, but I would be more so looking at winners, as in a group of people or individuals that can carry kind of like the what do you call it, the baton.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best advice.
Yeah,
I don't really care about coin. I'm more on the NFT side, obviously.
Yeah,
and it's all a bet, and I think that's going to be one of the hardest industries to disrupt. All the powers that be, we're not going to let this happen quick. So the NFT side can be used such more widely and so much more depth individually. So that's, people don't know how deep you've been in the game for so long. You really don't talk about this.
I don't. And you know what? I love crypto so much because of what it represents. In some way, shape, or form, it's elusive, because I really believe that the forces that be have already been in crypto for a long time. In fact, I even maybe agree that they allow certain things to happen to push their own narratives or agendas, like central bank digital currencies. But I started buying Bitcoin in 2016. I say I got into crypto in 2017 because that's when I became like a crypto guy. Mm-hmm. But in 2016, I was buying Bitcoin when it was $200, $300, $400. So at that point, I was waiting tables. That was kind of when my life changed instantly. From 2016 to 2017, I started drop shipping, started e-commerce. It just took off in a very interesting manner. But in 2016, I was waiting tables in the beginning. It was January or 2015, late 2015, something like that. And the tips, that I would receive from that day, I would go to the ATM, deposit. It would be instant deposit cash. I would go on an exchange called Bitstamp, and I would basically buy XRP because I was bamboozled by the whole XRP narrative.
That was my biggest bag in 2017.
And then I would buy Bitcoin and a little bit of ETH, and that was when it was a couple $100 and stuff like that. So
XRP had a bigger market cap than ETH.
Correct. Yeah. So the flip, right? The switching in 2017 was a big deal. But I made money, I think I had like 160x in 2017, but I wrote a lot of it down. And then I was like, okay, this is going to happen again. It happened repeatedly. So I was like, my goal now is I need to make a ton of money. So I got into e-commerce. We did, I think, 16 million in 2019. And we rolled over all of our profits in 2020 into crypto. And in the last 2 years, we 40x'd our portfolio. And yeah, we cashed out of all of our assets of Ethereum at 3,950 and out of all of our Bitcoin investments at 55,000. And we shorted Luna as well at $1.06 with $50,000 short. It was a $2.9 million short in 5 days. So we've been doing quite well. And now, like I said, bro, if you focus on winners, like people, and bet on people, not the bullshit of like Daniel Sistelli and this entire WAGMI culture, meme culture. That stuff doesn't really, it's trendy. It'll have its spikes, but it won't last. So you need to be able to rally behind people that are serious and people that have backing. Unfortunately, from the forces that kind of control the world, you need to be able to play the game. And finding those people that are willing to play the game and investing behind that is a good strategy.
Okay, that's a fast come up story because now you're living in the neighborhood of some of these founders.
Yeah.
So you've done pretty damn well.
So I did really, really well, and I would attribute it all to education, like educating myself throughout the bear
You're
market.
always hitting me up. Like, I'm reading this book this week. You said you were reading like a book a day, bro.
So a book every 3 days. It's
Okay.
because if you read 100 pages a day, which isn't a lot, like nobody can tell me that it's unrealistic to read 100 pages a day. It might take a person 2-3 hours. You might have to be dedicated, but when you learn how to read properly, you could read 100 pages in 2 hours.
It's painful for people when they're on TikTok all day.
Yeah,
instant
exactly.
Dopamine to sit down, slow.
I could debate that you in 2.5 hours you could read 100 pages and do it well and understand what you're doing, and in 3 days go through a size book and do that repeatedly. And you don't have to do it your entire life. Maybe you do it for 3 months, but think about how ahead you would be of your entire competition. It would be unbelievable.
Your habits too, like
dude, for sure.
These are the things that people don't speak about, but what you eat, what you put in your mind, how focused you are on education, how focused you are on surrounding yourself with the best people, all of that adds up to like making faster decisions, better decisions with better information.
And even for like a lot of people in crypto, they glorify this idea of like, they eat the Uber Eats and all this stuff. And okay, I get it, it's cool, but at the end of the day, it'd be dope if you imagine if your life was optimized, and optimized lives result in optimized outcomes. So if everything that you do is designed to yield a positive result, do those things. And so many people self-sabotage, especially in crypto when you're on your computer all day and you're degenning. You can be turning around right there, eating proper food without eating bullshit. You can do some push-ups, you can do some sit-ups, and just go back to doing your grind. And that'll give you lifespan longevity, which is going to allow you to kind of be able to enjoy your money if you make it. You don't want to be a fat slop and dead.
Being around you this weekend, you take that so serious, and it's paying off clearly.
Bro.
Okay, so this is where I want to get like into your deep, I guess not conspiracy mind, but I want to get your take on it because I am like so imaginative and creative. I love to think about NFT strategies, how they're going to be used everywhere in the world, big brands, governments, or whatever. So South Korea just announced that in 2024 they're making every single one of their digital, like their driver's license, blockchain-backed NFTs for every single one of their citizens in 2 years. They're going to like have huge economic benefits. All the administrative like cost of people like checking your ID at the airport or checking your ID at a pharmaceutical company, liquor store. You can buy liquor online now if it's age restricted. You connect your wallet, they can verify your age. So there's going to be like, they think they can save 13% of their GDP.
Yeah, but what are they giving up?
So
it's not about what you get, but what you have to sacrifice in order to get that. People sacrifice freedom for convenience. So at one point you have to figure out where you draw the line. And unfortunately, technology advances so fast that you can't necessarily create the necessary infrastructure to sustain certain levels of power and for technology and things of this kind. But dude, imagine this. Imagine you're connected to the blockchain and everything that you do is by access. Because that's what it is, by access. This thing gives you access. So you're restricting yourself to the access. What happens, okay, let's say 100 years go by and this digital access is good because everything works and you just happen to have a good government, but somehow within some way, shape, or form, like it happens in history, you get a bad government, right? What happens when they take over that technology? Now that technology allows for what? The restriction of what? Your access. So you don't have to be thinking about the best case scenario. Let's say it happens 95% of the time, but what happens with the 5% of the time? Because that 5% of the time yields thousands of years of slavery, not just 50 years. Look at China, dude. They are introducing the credit system. They're introducing like face tracking recognition that basically tickets you. But when I go to Shanghai in 2019, I'm like literally walking down the street and it blinks red. And like the road when you're trying to cross the crosswalk, and I look over and there's a big panel, and in that big panel there's a screen that showing basically in Chinese that scan people's faces, they identify it through your ID, and they ticket you directly to your house, right? By jaywalking.
2019?
Yeah, by
for
jaywalking.
jaywalking.
For jaywalking. So they track your face and then they associate it to your identification, your address, and they send you a ticket for jaywalking. Because they see that you exist there. So, okay, the technology is cool because it optimizes people not having liberty. But damn, should you be ticketed for jaywalking? And that's where the things gets really tricky. And people are like, oh, well, that's not going to happen. Okay, that's fine. But what if, right? So if we can prevent it, dope. If we can't prevent it, I'll just move to places where potentially that infrastructure doesn't exist and operate from that location. So I have that location freedom, and that's kind of extremely important when it comes to navigating places that have a lot of control.
A really fine line.
Dude,
And
look at what happened with Canada with the truckers and freezing their bank accounts and their crypto wallets and their crypto exchanges. What the fuck, guys? This is crypto. Oh yeah, but we have to comply with it. Okay, centralized. Nothing different, just a different title.
I think the decentralization, it's
like,
idealistic.
what's the difference between sending somebody Bitcoin, okay, in theory, not whether the currency has more value, intrinsic value or not, or a dollar, right? Via Venmo or via the blockchain. Like, does it really matter if I send you USDT or Venmo? No. So in that case, the blockchain isn't really valuable. Bitcoin is valuable because it is decentralized in some way, shape, or form. You can't decentralize the value or the manipulation in it, but you can transact through it in a fairly anonymous way, especially if you introduce that anonymous way in physical exchanges, right? And I think that that's what's going to start happening with Bitcoin, is that Bitcoin is going to start moving like actual cash, which is a theory that I have. People, bro, this is my theory. This is why Bitcoin is going to be so valuable, and I don't think this is a theory that people have really caught on to. As money becomes more less valuable, right? There's a reason that micro Bitcoins or pieces of Bitcoins are called Satoshis, right? Because I genuinely believe that as Bitcoin increases in value, I don't know what it'll end up at, but I think it'll be worth a couple $1 million. Why? Because it's not that Bitcoin will be more valuable. It'll be that the US dollar will be less valuable. Therefore, the price in correlation to the value of the dollar.
So it could still have the same buying power as today, but
Correct.
be worth millions of dollars.
Correct. And I'm not saying that that'll happen. I think it'll increase in demand because I think it is popular, and I think it has the potential to disrupt. But people are going to start transacting Satoshi in person. The most untraceable way of transacting money.
How's that work? Like just
pen driving.
phone?
Having a pen drive that is worth 50 Satoshis.
Okay, yeah.
Boom, 50 Satoshis. Transacted,
Just
done.
Passing USB sticks.
And I think that that's how we're going to be transacting in a way that is going to be untraceable when the actual physical cash is gone. And that's when I think Bitcoin will become valuable. That is my
It's like
theory.
a full circle there.
That is my
That's
theory.
how it started almost.
Yeah,
That's what
that is my
Bitcoin's
theory.
main use case was.
I know people haven't heard that theory because it's something I've kind of been pondering, but I think it's a potential additive to the value of what Bitcoin's going to be, because that's how I'm going to use Bitcoin, because that's how I know certain people in the neighborhoods, like you said, that I live in, right? You have access to different data sets and different information. That's how a lot of them transact.
Makes so much sense. Like that's going to be the new drug dealing for value, transfer value. Okay. So
Crazy, huh?
Yeah. You got so many things. We could talk for hours about conspiracy theories or where we think the world's going.